What's up, average viewers? Recently, there have been two very similar movies released onto Netflix and Disney Plus about how immigrants are coming to America and taking our jobs. For more jokes about movies where you can never tell if I'm serious or not, click that subscribe button. But for now, let's jump into this edition of
Silver Screen Skirmish. Round 1. Story.
Hustle receives a solid 9 on story. Hustle has an awesome story about greatness and what it takes to be the best, the sacrifices that have to be made, and the effort that has to be put in. It follows a down-on-his-luck international basketball scout named Stanley who puts his career on the line for his belief in a street ball player, Ted Cruz. I mean Bo Cruz. You watch their friendship and trust grow and struggle through some difficulties. You watch Stanley and Bo balance their careers with their family life. You see the effects of news, media, and cancel culture explored in both their positive and negative lights, as well as corporate power explored in positive and negative ways. It's just a nice, inspirational sports movie that has a lot of layers to it. Rise receives a 7 on story. Rise is based on a true story of the Antetokounmpo family. They struggle through various immigration issues and being illegal citizens in Greece. Giannis and Thanasis stumble across basketball and realize that their skill can benefit their family financially and help them become legal citizens. It's a story about families sticking together and supporting one another. It loses some points for me because I feel that there are gaps in certain character arcs. The execution of the storytelling isn't as dramatic or emotional as it could be. It's a nice story, but the movie itself isn't that special or impactful. The screenplay is a little generic and it plays it safe. Some characters feel pretty wooden and one-dimensional, but the themes are pretty great, and it's a great movie to put on for the family. It's just not breaking any new ground.
Round 2. Tone.
This is the feel of the movie, and Hustle is again awarded a 9. Hustle does an amazing job at balancing several different tones under one umbrella tone of the movie. It's a comedy, it's a sports movie, it's a family flick, but it always has the tone of being a drama. There's great stakes being developed, but they're always intertwined with humor and lightheartedness. You'll definitely have a laugh, it'll tug at your heartstrings, you'll be angry at times, you'll feel empathy for the characters. Just this movie really understands the assignment and does a great job of balancing many different elements. Rise again comes just below Hustle with an 8. Where the story can sometimes lack, at least Rise understands its job as a family flick, and the tone really shines through consistently throughout the movie. Where it falls short again is the movie attempts to develop this idea of greatness and being the best. The opening line is that the Antetokounmpo means king from across the sea. So obviously they are proposing this idea of Giannis and his brothers being like basketball royalty. There's some implications about heritage, but honestly this movie lacks in tone of passion for the sport. I don't quite feel the love of the sport from these guys. The idea of heritage and your roots could have been explored better for a movie about family and immigration.
Round 3. Entertainment.
This is about how rewatchable a movie is, how well does it hold your attention and excite, and Hustle scores high again with an 8. This is a really entertaining movie, and again it comes back to that humor and lightheartedness sprinkled throughout a really inspirational story. Adam Sandler is really charismatic in this role and funny as ever without it being over the top. He just feels like a funny guy you want to be around and have coach and mentor you. The other thing about this movie, it has a really unique way of filming basketball and montage sequences. There are probably 4 montages in this movie, and I really like them all. They're all top-notch, show the progression and the challenges really well. Watching Bo overcome his weaknesses of people getting in his head is really entertaining to watch. The reason it doesn't get a perfect score is that there isn't a super iconic basketball scene in this movie, like with another sports movie, let's say Blindside. There's the scene where Michael pushes the guy like 50 yards and over the barrier. That's iconic, and I could point to that scene as a great football scene in the movie. Whereas in this movie, the basketball sequences are good, but they all kind of blend together, and I can't point out a specific scene to you that's super iconic. Regardless, I've been wanting to find time to rewatch this movie again since I saw it, and I can't say that about every movie. Also, if you're an NBA fan, you'll like this movie even more because there's a lot of real-life NBA players and ESPN personalities that show up. On to Rise, which receives a low 5 for entertainment. You guys, there's not much basketball in this movie. There's not really any jokes or heavy drama. It attempts to pull on your heartstrings about their brother that they had to leave behind, but it just wasn't executed super well in a way that resonated with me, at least in an entertaining sense. But yeah, like I said, it's a safe movie to turn on for the family, but there's not much basketball going on, and if there is, it's like snippets, never really a single dramatic game with high stakes. The ending with the NBA draft does a really good job at building tension and suspense and uncertainty, but other than that, I don't think there's anything about this movie that's worth revisiting or watching again. I don't think I'll ever see this movie again if I'm being honest, and that's not because it's bad, it's significantly less entertaining than Hustle or other sports movies. If you like Giannis and the Antetokounmpo family and the NBA is your thing, you might be more generous than me in this score, but Still, it was more a family movie than a basketball movie, and I would have liked more basketball if you're going to convince me that he was drafted at 18 after never playing for an international team.
Round 4. Cinematicness.
I know that's not a word, but this category is about the film elements and production quality, like editing, cinematography, set design, locations, music, just generally how good is the movie from a technical standpoint, and Hustle receives a 9 again. I really like the look of this movie. They went for a darker color grade with some muddier tones and higher contrast, and I really like it. It's a great style for the tone of this movie. Really complements the street ball feel. The evening scenes look great. It's just a really good looking movie. I love the way the camera moves. It doesn't cut too frequently, just enough. There's some really creative shots that up the entertainment value. Again, like I mentioned, I love the editing of the montages. There's great pacing and comedic timing. I think the whole crew really showed up and did an excellent job creativity-wise on Hustle. Rise, on the other hand, scores a 6 again. This movie's main problem is just vanilla. It's cookie cutter, it's safe, it follows a formula. There's not a ton of industry innovation happening here. It suffers from the same criticism that a lot of Marvel movies have received, which is that it has a sort of desaturated, boring color grade. The image doesn't pop, there's no stylization to it, it's not interesting. Again, with the cinematography, it's nothing special, it just points out our actors. It's not breaking any new ground. It scores slightly higher for some really nice establishing shots of our location in Greece, and the fact that it's not bad by any means, it's just noticeably generic next to a movie like Hustle.
Round 5. Performance.
Nothing will make or break a movie quite as fast as this, and Hustle gets a solid 8. Adam Sandler again shows off his acting chops in a dramatic role, but he really lets his natural humor come through. In moments that are supposed to be emotionally heavy, I can sense a backstory and some pain behind his words. His family does well also. The bad guy really feels like a douche. Wancho does a good job at playing an innocent, humble, huggable kind of guy, but at times that require a lot of emotion, it kind of shows that he isn't as experienced as an actor. But regardless, everyone is charismatic in their own way, and that's why it gets an 8. Rise comes in at a 7, which is neither good nor bad, it's just fine. The parents do a good job at a nuanced performance of leading the family while compromising and trusting their children. I'm docking a few points because Giannis and Thanasis, they're not bad by any stretch of the word, but like they're not cringe child actors, but there's just no emotional depth to their performance. All right, you guys, time to tally up the score and find out your winner.
And the winner is...
Hustle takes the lead by a healthy amount. Overall, it's just a much more entertaining, rewatchable, and enjoyable film with a more emotional and satisfying story. But I don't discourage watching Rise, especially if you're a sports family, as Hustle does have some language in it. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching this edition of Silver Screen Skirmish. Let me know in the comments what other movies should battle it out head to head, and whether you agree with me or you hate my stupid face and my opinions. If you liked Adam Sandler in Hustle, then hit that subscribe, like, and that bell, and I will personally let him know how much you liked it. As always, Michael, thanks for watching, and the rest of you, stay average.